2, 1. And we're back.
Sorry about that. Few technical issues on my side. Just a few things I wanted to bring up. Ditto, don't put the dialogue forward or don't press anything. I just want to catch up a little bit. My internet had a bit of a hiccup. So Lynx went on and on about how Surge can't, deny him without denying himself, and he implied there was some sort of link between them. I'm just going to tell you right now, that's all one huge red herring, and this guy has read way too much Nietzsche. Of all of the dialogue he has, the only important one is the one about what happened to him 10 years ago. Because all of this metaphysical bullshit that he is spouting is one huge red herring that is just existential philosophy 101 nonsense meant to confuse the player. That FMV that just played a moment ago, before the hiccup, was the activation of Fort Dragonia. The fort has been activated. And it's done. It can't do anything else ever again. The fort has now fulfilled its purpose. So bearing that in mind, proceed with the game.
Hold on, I just want to clarify that one more time. The entire purpose of this fucking fort was to that.
Proceed forward with the game. Just keep going. You haven't said it out loud yet, have you?
I gave my theory on it. I thought it kind of blew something up, or like made Surge evil. I don't know.
I just want you to keep in mind that the Dragonians built this huge 3-story fort. You know what? I'll just let the game finish its dialogue and then I'll go on my spiel.
Surge is no longer the silent protagonist.
Remember what I told you back on the SS Invincible? Whenever Surge's portrait shows up in dialogue, expect to see some shit.
Oh no. I knew it!
Yes!
Yeah. Oh god, so the...
I could not make this up if I tried!
Are you kidding me? Oh wow! And
if you haven't gotten it, well, you'll get it in a few seconds. Don't say it yet. Let the game show you.
Oh no!
The whole purpose of this entire building
was
so. The whole purpose of this entire 3-story building that the Dragonians devoted countless man-hours, resources, money, and magic into building that can only be used once. His whole purpose is to switch bodies with someone in the same room.
What fucking purpose?
No one guessed that it made ice cream. That makes more sense than this. This entire fort, everything here, all of this, its entire function was to facilitate a one-time body swap with someone that happened to be in the same room. How is that useful to anyone? Why would you need this?
I have no answer for once.
That's the whole purpose. There's no other purpose to this fort. That's all it does, and it only does it once. They made the dragon tier. They made this whole big fort to swap bodies, and then they never used it. They just sort of left it there and went extinct. Like I said, Mass Effect 3 Crucible levels of stupidity. They built this fort that let them switch bodies, then they never fucking used it. It sat dormant for thousands of years, and then this guy finally comes along.
Look at this. Are they not questioning the fact that Surge is now speaking for the first time in their entire adventure? Now he's just suddenly
surprisingly ruthless.
Hey,
and
let's
homicidal.
murder.
Like the same guy who carves Surge and Lena Forever on Tombstone is like, give me the dagger, I'll finish him off. And they're not suspicious about this.
Well, I like how she finally is just like, wait a minute. I know exactly what tipped her off.
Yeah, because he just made a fucking amateur mistake there.
How did you know Big Sis's name? Uh-huh. Bam! It all falls into place.
Yeah. This guy is so fucking stupid. This guy. He is only able to succeed because the universe in which he exists is equally stupid. Hey, Glenn, you maybe want to tidy up Viper's body there? I mean, he's kind of just bleeding out right now.
Let me give you a hug, kid.
So yeah, the FMV implied that there was going to be some sort of betrayal, that Surge might suddenly be corrupted or have some sort of radical change of agenda and murder Kid. No, the reality is far stupider. It's basically just the Captain Ginyu plot.
I like Captain Ginyu.
Oh my goodness, I just cannot get over how stupid this is, that they built this entire fort over thousands of years with all these resources, and the only purpose that it serves, and it only works once, is to switch bodies with someone in the same room.
She didn't say anything.
Go.
She didn't even say a thing. Quiet!
You know what I really like when games respect my choices. Like, for instance, the choice we made to not bring Kid here to avert this from happening, or the choice to beat the shit out of Lynx so that he couldn't, do this, and then we just let him monologue for a while.
I like how Surge, his body now has red eyes, even though in the cutscene he had piercing blue ones, and he, got 3 skin tones darker.
Fun fact, when you switch souls with a Catman, you instantly become much tanner, and you constantly look like you're holding a flashlight underneath your face.
I like the flashlight look.
You know what? I would not be surprised if in his other hand, Lynx had a flashlight handy. He was like, I've been saving this whole thing. Oh, you just now figured it out, kid.
Duh. Why do they always have to do that? He didn't even... No. Amateur mistake number 2.
Never mind.
My stabbing arm's kind of tired. I mean, I stabbed 2 people already.
What? Finish you off later. Why? Why would you wait?
Look at yourself, Surge. I mean, Lynx. Oh.
This is so aggravating to me. Okay, the game is constantly going to do here is, I think they were reading a little too much Franz Kafka, but the game is basically going to tell you over and over that because you are in Lynx's body, you are now Lynx. Which doesn't make any sense. Your body is swapped, but your personalities and sensibilities and memories are the same. But it's going to tell you over and over again, well, because you look like Lynx, you are Lynx now.
That's stupid.
I know, it is so aggravating to me.
So, hold on.
It's taking, the stupidest part of Kafka and just...
Do I even have Lynx's powers?
Everything's been swapped out. You don't have Luminaire anymore, you have Catman. You don't have Slash and Dash, you have Glide Hook. Everything has been swapped out.
Is it really called Catman?
No, it's called Feral Cats, and I'm serious, it sends out a pack of 20 cats to slash your enemies. I'm not joking. The key to the Gate of Fate. The time has finally come for the Frozen Flame to awaken. These lines will make sense 90% of the way through the game.
So how the fuck can he still teleport and shit? And why can't I like shoot fucking dark rays and have
If
death
we switch
shadows?
bodies and he could, because I couldn't fucking float, or we couldn't fucking float. But so is that something that he just has innate to his soul or something? Like, shouldn't we logically be the one that's able to teleport and stuff now?
It'd be kind of neat. Now let love bleed. Well, are you sure that only would have worked once? Because, I mean, maybe if the statues were still there and the thing...
Yes, because of things you'll see later. Let love bleed darker and deeper than the seas of hell. None of this makes any sense to what his actual agenda is. This whole sequence is so overwhelmingly stupid. I am... As I said, Mass Effect 3 Crucible levels of stupidity.
I really like her ponytail.
This cutscene is important. Like everything, you won't understand it until, like, right before the end of the game, though.
She's Surge's big sister.
No, I promise you that's not it. They're not biologically related. Doesn't this look like the start screen idle animation?
Yeah. Whoa. What the...
Welcome to Act 2 of the game. An MC Escher painting.
Are you shitting me right now? Like...
I have been looking forward to this part of the game since we started the LP. I was not joking when I said it must be seen to be believed. And by the way, you know how Surge is the protagonist? Yeah, that's not true. Unless you think this Lynx thing is a gimmick, no. You're going to be spending more than half of the game as Lynx. At least 55% of the game will be spent in Lynx's body. By the time you get your original form as Surge back, you will basically be at the end game. I would calculate the time spent as like Surge versus Lynx, like 20% Act 1, 65 to 70% Lynx Act 2, and then the rest Surge Act 3. You will be spending the majority of the game as Catman.
What the fuck?
So, before this game, it sort of didn't, have a very clear sense of central conflict. Lynx was definitely our enemy, but we didn't know why, and we didn't have very good motivation. Now even that has been thrown out the window. We have no idea what the shit is going on, and not in a good way. Everything we had has been forcefully taken from us, and we've been thrown into this bizarre MC Escher world with this Sprig character who will never be explained in any fashion whatsoever. She is also going to talk some philosophy bullshit for a while.
She?
Yes.
She takes the Cockney thing to a whole other fucking level.
Yeah, she's here to, I just heard about this cool thing called fatalism. Am I getting it right? I'm sorry, lady, why do I care? I'm kind of concerned about what happened back at Fort Dragonia and what's going on to me right now. Could you maybe shut the hell up? In fact, why do you even exist? Like, game-wise, why do I listen to this old crone? Why can't I just immediately go find out what's happening?
So I just automatically go to sleep because she tells me to?
Yep.
Okay. Is there any way to get that treasure chest back out there? Because that's what I really care about. And like,
Yeah, it has a revive element in it, and you should absolutely grab it.
why can't I grab this fucking bear? Why is like everything looks made of fucking crayon?
So this place is called the Dimensional Vortex, or the Temporal Vortex, and it is basically Chrono Cross's analog to the end of time. It is the point of least resistance, like dimensional-wise. It's basically a dimensional anomaly that defies all laws of time and space. It's a very intriguing concept that will never be explored in any capacity, and you will not spend more than 30 minutes here. Also, this Sprig character has been living here for an innumerable number of years and has developed a very interesting philosophy because from this place she's been able to observe time from a non-linear perspective. Nothing about her character and her origins will ever be explored in any meaningful way whatsoever. Have I mentioned this game has a very loose focus? So yeah.
How unassuming is
slash and
that?
dash.
Slice opponent as you gently fly past him.
And see what Catman is.
Why can't I just have that all the time?
I was not joking. You literally get a bunch of feral cats to jump out.
Wait, do I not have all the shit I had on Glenn?
Remember, menu, left, access party members that are not with you.
Well, why would I even still have access to his shit considering he's not here anymore?
Same question when Kid was comatose, but it worked then. See, this is why you want free fall. You're black in 8 now because you're Lynx, and the game's gonna be really bullshit now because the 2 hardest bosses in the game that are coming up, they're both white in 8, and their difficulty relies in part on the fact that they can tear you a new asshole because you're black in 8. It's a very underhanded trick.
So I can just use turn white on myself.
Partial resistance.
It's better than none. Also, how do you like the fact that like, literally all I have is gravity blows? I hope you guys like gravity blows. You're gonna see it a lot.
Why do you just... Listen, you are making a very big mistake here. Don't equip elements that are just your innate. Diversify. You are shooting yourself in the foot. You should be having at least 2 different kinds of elements in each row. No, never put revives on anything but the first level, ever.
What the... This is gonna be really long and boring, isn't it?
Yeah. So here's my rule to you. Don't equip just fucking black on him. Gravitone isn't that good. Meteor Shower is better. Pretend you're still Surge. Because all of the white innate elements you have, they're better in every regard. So just equip yourself out as if you were still Surge. And that is my advice to you. While you're doing this, I'm just going to take any questions from the chat about the clusterfuck that just happened. So if any of you guys have any questions or want me to clarify something, boy, would I be more than happy to.
I'm not sure why, but my audio's clocking up right now.
Oh shit, you're right, I did. Yeah. Lunar called me out on confusing my artists. Dude, Hellsoul is worthless, don't. I said MC Escher when I meant more Van Gogh. I apologize.
You better apologize, boy.
Oh my goodness. I really just can't make that up. They built a whole fort, and it only works once, to switch bodies with people in the same room. That's just the worst kind of writing, because it doesn't, it should make sense in universe, but it's just here to facilitate the plot. Lunar Shadow is actually contending that this is worse than the Crucible in Mass Effect 3. That is some very heavy scorn.
I don't know.
I don't think Fort Dragonia is as bad as the Crucible, and here's why. The Crucible made even less sense because the implication was that, like, a lot of people... No, it wasn't internally consistent because the implication was that each successive cycle of civilizations contributed something to its design. So how did they coordinate to build a machine that changed something that they didn't know existed? Because the whole purpose of the Crucible was to, like, change the catalyst. And when you show up to the catalyst, he's like, oh, you're the first one to show up here. So all of those civilizations collaborated without ever meeting each other to change something they didn't know existed. That to me makes less sense than, hey, we just saw Dragon Ball Z and we thought that whole Captain Ginyu thing was pretty cool. Let's build a building that does exactly that.
Captain Ginyu was funny.
He was funny. But you know what? If you think that it's worse than the Crucible, that's perfectly fine to me because they're both super bad. It just makes so little sense that it is absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, Sprig's unique claim to fame is that she can doppelgang into enemies. Whenever she kills an enemy, she gains the ability to change into it, gaining its element grid and all of its special abilities. Just Sprig in her normal form is pretty shit. Sprig doppelganged can be pretty powerful depending on what you change her into. She starts off with a couple of okay doppelgang forms that you can change into, but if you want to use her, and you shouldn't fucking bother, but if you do, you should make sure she gets the killing blow on strong things.
Should I go down? Like, what happens if I go down?
I don't know, try it. What have you got to lose? You're already a cat man.
Oh, hey.
Why would I want to save over the file where I'm not a cat man? I don't want to be a cat man. Can I go back to the previous save?
Oh, that's cute. The second one's kid. Oh.
What's really great is that they have up to 19 or something different portraits if you make many save files. I believe the third one is Guile.
Guile?
Yeah, of all people.
Okay, like, how do I
remember that he was originally supposed to be Magus? So you want to go around first because you're basically going to go up top, knock a boulder from the top of this mountain thing down, and then that will knock that rock aside.
So why can't I, like, poke these eyes in the eyes?
If that's your question about this place, again, this place is never explored in any fashion. Like, its existence is never explained. Nothing about Sprig is ever explained. None of it. Yeah, just that big meatball rock there. Knock it down. And
I just noticed the water's flowing up the waterfall.
Yeah, so gravity is reversed, at least in the case of that waterfall. This seems like a really interesting location with a unique aesthetic. You're not going to spend more than 30 minutes here. We're never going to talk about it again. Literally, its existence will never be mentioned after you finish this sequence.
I think it looks kind of cool.
The only purpose that it has does look cool. It just makes no sense. Like the rest of this game.
You know what, though? Again, and this is going to be like the 8th time I fucking says, look at these colors. Seriously. Just look at these colors.
They built the whole building whose entire purpose was to switch bodies with the person in the same room. I'm sorry, I just...
What?
Okay, here is more Kafka-esque nonsense. Basically, Harley is telling you that because you have Lynx's body, you are Lynx now. Which is total bullshit.
Maybe she just thinks I'm Lynx because she wasn't there to witness me.
No, Harley is one of the few people in this game that knows what is going on. Like, 100%.
Oh. Oh,
So-
there you go.
So, how did it get here, Harley? Do you want? I mean, are we ever going to explore how you got here?
She is a Harlequin, which means she's automatically fucking magical.
This is really infuriating to me because they're saying, well, look at you. You look like Lynx, therefore you are Lynx. I'm sorry, what does this have to do with anything? Like, this is the plot of a Dragon Ball Z episode. Why are we hanging up our time on this? And they're going to keep harping about this, much to my displeasure. They're just going to keep bringing up, well, you look like him, therefore you are him now. This is time that could be spent explaining what in the bloody fuck is going on. But no, they read Kafka. They read, oh, well, you know, we believe that you are lying to us. Does it truly matter whether or not you're lying to us? And they're like, let's harp on about that for 2 hours.
Huh, you know, I can actually see where she's coming from.
Marches on. She's saying, like, what she's trying to say is, well, because you look like Lynx, people are going to think you're Lynx. That's what she's trying to say. But what the developers are making her say is, well, your identity is wholly dependent on your outward appearance.
That and the previous actions of my new body. So... yeah, kinda. I can actually see where she's coming from in all this. This makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's just so wrapped up in nonsense, in philosophical nonsense, and an unnecessary French accent that...
Okay, now I can see where you're getting in with this, because now she's starting to spout babble.
You see?
Maybe you never really were Surge.
Exactly. It's when you get into shit like that. Of course I was really Surge. I've spent a good 10 hours as Surge. I've lived for 17 years as Surge. Just because a guy used a MacGuffin to swap bodies doesn't mean my identity has been erased. Oh my god, and now she's getting existential. What was Surge? Was he a shape, a soul, a spirit? He was a person.
Oh my god, Ciro! It's my shadow!
Alright, queue up. I'll face myself. We're gonna have to face Shadow Surge, and we're gonna unlock a persona.
My persona is Lynx. He's a cat.
I'm trying to think what Surge's persona would be. That'd be the most boring Shadow confrontation ever, because it's a silent protagonist, so instead of the, you're not me, it would just be dot 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 exclamation mark dot 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 question mark dot 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 2 exclamation marks boss fight.
What's Poshel doing down there? Is Poshel like chasing
Wait,
me up?
what? What the shit? Why is Poshel here?
Yeah, you just saw Joshua, right?
What? It's supposed to be Surge. I think the game just glitched out on you. It's never supposed to do that. It's always supposed to be Surge that's walking through.
Oh, hey, look, it's Surge.
Why was Joshua there? I've played this game 3 times. That has never happened. It has always been Surge for every time. It has never been anybody else. Why was Joshua there?
Am I supposed to just like keep following myself?
Yep. This is some gameplay, huh? You just know there's some art major that decided to write a thesis about this. The octagonal shape of the room is indicative and reminiscent of the samsara, the wheel of life. In this, the game designers are reinforcing their continuing theme of good versus evil and life versus death. How boring. Oh, you have no idea, Harley.
I still stand that I like Harley. I think she's cool.
Harley is interesting. Unfortunately, she's basically unusable because she's a black innate like you, and it is a bad idea to have more than one character of the same innate in your party. And as I said, the toughest bosses in the game are white innate characters that will use white innate attacks to fuck your shit up. So bringing her with you is suicide.
Is she good with, magic, at least?
I don't know, look at her stats. I will say, though, I have more than once beat those particular bosses with Harley in my party just because I was like, fuck you game, I have dominated you. It certainly makes it more difficult, but I am being hyperbolic. It is certainly still possible.
How long are we gonna be here, by the way?
I don't know. In reality, there is no sense of time. Where you are here, you are lost. If you are Monsieur Lynx, then you are no longer Surge, and time has defied you.
Okay.
You understand, non?
I understand nothing, if that's what you're getting at. There we go.
Another interesting point has been brought up in the chat, which basically says that everything that sequence Harley was going on about, and what the game will continue to harp on about, flies in the face of Descartes, René Descartes, a philosopher that I would argue is very deeply ingrained in Western civilization consciousness. You will probably know him best as the think therefore I am guy. So, I mean, just think about that for a second. Your identity is whatever you choose it to be. And she's saying, no, your identity is what you look like on the outside. That's a terrible message that flies in the face of everything our culture teaches us.
I like how her title is Lovable Old Lady. And also, Lynx is now 17, magically 6'4", and he like is now all that weight, but he's 17, and his origin is still Arnie.
He has given up his profession as silent protagonist and instead become feline demi-human.
Enigmatic jester. Honestly, her pants are really cool. Wait, she's 18?
I don't know what the hell that... So, it was... What? Okay, that I did not know. Actually, that doesn't make sense. Because what we learn about her way later, she should actually be younger than you. Cirosan has found another plot hole in the game, and a rather glaring one at that. She should be, if the game was internally consistent, she should be 15. About. Or no, 14. Yeah, she should be 14.
What? No fair, she gets mithril mail. Fuck you, I'm stealing that.
Yeah, just give her the dress.
Oh, what the?
So, I mentioned earlier in the LP that characters from Act 1 don't carry over to Act 2. This very obviously is Act 2 of the game, and none of the characters that you recruited while you were Surge will join your party again now that you're Lynx. Your party is back to 0. Your only members are Sprig and Harley right now. You don't have anybody. You don't have Lena anymore. You don't have Glenn. You don't have Pushel. You don't have anybody. You've got to recruit a whole new team all over again. And you're not going to regain the use of those old party members until Act 3. Now, this might sound like a strength in that it forces you to use certain party members, try out new ones, see what else the game has to offer, adopt new strategies, but it's actually a weakness. And here's why. All of the main characters' major arcs are either started or concluded during Act 2 when they're unavailable. In particular, Glenn and Lena have some of the most important moments of their lives while they are unavailable. So they cannot have any closure to their arc.
Komodo pup? What the hell is this?
I told you, Sprig can morph into enemies that you've met before. If you just want the strongest one, pick the Lagoonate.
Which I already did. What the hell is this? Whoa, those faces in the background were fucking spooky.
Oh my goodness. Harley is sporting the same sort of weapon she was at Hermit's Hideaway, Radius's Island. Just a shot that she throws at people. Again, I don't know if there's supposed to be cards or bullets or throwing knives or something, but...
I think they're knives. Where's the nearest save point?
You need to clear this area, which is mercifully short, and you will come out in the most random of all places. And then you can go back out into the world map and save. The exit is that giant drain, hole thing you see at the bottom right. That's the exit. You just jump into that and you can leave.
I really like the impossible structure. It's kind of cool.
I also really enjoyed this. They really enjoyed playing with geometry and perspective for this stage. And again, it's really, really super interesting. Will never be explored, or visited ever again.
Why do I all of a sudden have really shit accuracy?
Are cats supposed to have good vision?
Yeah. Incredibly good vision.
Maybe it's that these things... That's another thing. The monster design here is interesting. These Total Chaos, they're literally two-dimensional. If you were to look at them from a side, they're not visible. They're literally paper thin. So I think they just have naturally high evasion because of that. But again, that's another thing that I like. They're really enjoying playing with geometry and perspective here, even with the monster design, not just with the level design. It's a shame that we're not going to do anything at all narrative-wise with this place. Okay, Lunar has corrected me. Now I am in Escher World. Yeah, this is what I was thinking of. Forgive me for getting a bit confused.
And we're in the Hydra Marshes.
There is one purpose that Dimensional Void will serve. It's only in a New Game Plus, but if you go there and use the titular Chrono Cross key item that you only get at the end of the game, all of the characters that you got in previous playthroughs will return to you. And that is how you can get a save game where you have all the party members. So you can play one playthrough where, you pick one guide to Viper Manor and a abandoned kid, another playthrough where you a different guide to Viper Manor and save kid, so on and so forth, and then reunite them all in the Dimensional Void. Again, even the implications of how they get to you through that method is never explored. So Sprig is telling us that basically the Hydra Marshes were connected to the Dimensional Vortex in some way. She says that the water she drank was coming from here. So was the Dimensional Vortex connected in some way to the marshes? Are they like a bizarro world of marshes? Like, how exactly are they connected into this place? It's too bad we'll never explore... I'll stop. Ditto, is this a case of Smuppet?
This is a case of me forgetting to turn my microphone back on.
Oh, okay.
I was actually laughing at Sprig because she's funny. I think she's kind of cool. I should have had her kill a total chaos.
Oh, don't worry. There's a place you can go to fight all of the monsters you've ever encountered before. So, if you ever want to go back to that place for some reason, you can use that little void there on that small patch of land that just flashed up.
Astral Amulet?
Oh, that's right. It won't activate again until a later plot point, though, as I recall.
Alright, once we get out to the world map here, I think it's a good place to call it.
Yeah.
Considering it's 4 a.m.
I'm kind of overdosed on I can only handle so much stupidity and contrivance in one day, and I'm pretty sure I've gotten liver damage at this point.
Okay.
Well, okay. You know what? Since we officially cleared Act 1 and we're a third of the way through the game, before I do my usual wrap-up, I just want to ask you, so Ditto, what did you think of Act 1?
I liked it.
You want to be a little more verbose?
I didn't really understand anything until, it actually happened, but I like to think I understand most of what just went on.
What do you mean? Anything until it actually happened?
I didn't know why I was going somewhere until I actually got there. I'm like, oh, I guess that makes sense. There's a reason I would go here, naturally.
That doesn't stand out as a weakness to you, that you don't understand why you're doing something until after you've done it?
Not really, I'm a sheep.
Okay. Any other closing thoughts you'd like to share about Act 1? Any favorite moments or anything like that?
Part where Kid got stabbed was pretty cool.
I agree. I also enjoyed that part.
Do you think Surge gets itchy now?
Oh, he's going to be coughing up furballs something fierce tomorrow morning.
Ooh.
Harley, you better take him to the vet in Termina because you got to get him neutered.
No.
All right. So what did you learn from Act 1? What life lesson have you taken from it?
Don't stare into blue crystals inside of ruins.
Words to live by. So this time on Chrono Cross, we were confronted with one of the most contrived, stupid, and idiotic plot developments ever to grace the hallowed halls of RPGs. We finally discovered what the purpose of Fort Dragonia was, and we are now a Catman. Also, Kid might be dead, and the Acadia Dragoons are definitely done for, and Viper's dead. But we never cared about them in the first place, so no great loss. Next time on Chrono Cross, we'll try to unravel what's happened to us and maybe see if we can get our original form back. Stay tuned!